Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. We've got Robert writing in on the email here. He says the headline on the email is stuck between DSLR and mirrorless. So actually probably a pretty common conundrum for a lot of people when they're looking at cameras these days. He says, hello Matt, I've been reviewing your videos for a while and would love your opinion. I'm looking at a camera that would be versatile in photo and video for personal use mostly. Family, work, events, sports, portrait, and landscapes. I've been looking into the Canon T7i and the Panasonic G7. Not sure if I should go with mirrorless or not. What would you suggest, and maybe some intro lenses? Thank you in advance for your response. Sincerely, Robert. So, it's a little bit tough because you want photo and video. The G7 is capable of both, definitely. But when you're looking at events, sports, and landscapes, a lot of people are going to want a higher resolution, better performing sensor, which you're going to get more in a T7i than you are in the G7. However, the flip side of that is if you're doing a lot of video for any of that stuff, the G7 is going to give you better. So, if you want to look at a G7, it's a great camera available at a good price. It's still a very capable photo camera. I've shot a lot of professional work with it, photo related, not just video. The 25 f1.7 is a very capable, good priced lens. My favorite is probably the 42.5 f1.7, and that's on the GX8 here, the Panasonic 42.5. You see how small it is on there. It's a beautiful lens, very sharp lens. Some people think this. I think it's top. I think Michael thinks this is one of the best lenses ever for portraits, and I would tend to agree with him. I love this guy. So those are two primes I would recommend. I liked the 14 to 140, which gives us a 28 to 280 equivalent as an all-round lens. It's still quite sharp, and it gives you such an amazing range. It's a great walk-around lens. So I like those lenses for the G7. Just a few options to look at there for you. If you need a faster zoom, obviously the 12 to 35 f2.8, which is what's on the G85 I'm shooting with right now, it's fantastic. It's just going to cost you a little more. Okay, the T7i, better for photos, better sensor, better performing, more megapixels, better performance. You're probably getting another stop or two in high ISO and probably dynamic range. Not that the G7's any slouch, it's a great camera, but the T7i is it's an APS-C sensor. You're going to get with the T7i, you got some dual pixel AF ability there. So you're not going to get 4K, but you can shoot 1080 with the ability to use that nice tracking of the dual pixel AF. If that's of interest to you, that may outweigh the 4K, in which case the Canon T7i might be the better option for you. It's definitely going to be better for pure resolution and image quality than the G7 is, although again I want to stress the G7 is a very capable camera in that regard, and I've done some amazing work with it. I don't hesitate to shoot it for a lot of things professionally for photos. G7 has the advantage for the 4K, T7i has the advantage for that dual pixel AF. So do you need 4K? Well, the G7 is your guy. If you don't need 4K, then perhaps the T7i is a better route to go for the little bit better image quality for photos, and it will be a little bit better, will be better for tracking for that dual pixel AF. And there's some great lenses there. I would recommend my trifecta, unless you need something super fast in a zoom. A fast zoom would be the Sigma 17 to 50 f2.8 OS. I recommend that to everybody that needs a fast event or portrait zoom. Love it. If you want more of a general all-rounder, the 18 to 135 STM lens is a fantastic lens. It's a great price. It's in my four recommended lenses for Canon APS-C, and that would be the Canon 10 to 18 STM. Great wide, great vlogging lens, very good price. Nobody offers anything like this wide at this price, and kudos to Canon for doing that. The 18 to 135 STM, as I mentioned, great lens. You can get it as a kit lens with the T7i, I believe. Also, the 50mm f1.8 STM. Everybody should buy that lens if you don't have a faster prime, because for a 50 for $125 brand new or less refurbed, you just can't beat it. It gives you the ability to start using a fast lens in low light situations, to have shallow depth of field, to isolate your subject, just to understand what fast primes can do and why we like them. And then for a long zoom, it's very hard to beat the 55 to 250 as far as value for price. It's very inexpensive. It's a pretty decent performing lens. It's not the best, but it's still capable of some really good image quality. So those are the four lenses I would recommend to you. Again, T7i, it depends if you need the 4K or you don't, basically. Or if you really need the dual pixel AF, if that's a huge thing for you, that follow focus ability to have smooth video focus and let the camera follow a subject smoothly. The Panasonics don't do that as well. Canon and Sony win that. So between those two, with those caveats, I think I've given you enough information to decide which way you want to go. But what do you guys think? What would you recommend to Robert? What would you recommend and why? Which way would you go? Let him know. Let's help him out. Thanks for your question, Robert. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.